Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Cryptids and Monsters Encounters video. Alright, let's go ahead and let's feature some more scary Skinwalkers encounters here. Once again, coming from the reddit.com website, they're from the subreddit called Skinwalkers. In this case, I'm going to feature two of them here. One of them a little bit longer than the other one, and as always, I'll give my own thoughts and opinions on each encounter afterward. But one of them takes place in Tennessee, and apparently they heard some very scary stuff, something involving an item that was later reviewed or viewed on TikTok as well. I tried to see if I could find the link for it, but I just couldn't. But if anybody has it, then please post it in the comments below. But the first one comes from the user Zeitgeist Horror. They titled theirs as Northwest Tennessee. And then the other one comes from a user called Chaotic Lesbian 14, and they titled theirs as Possible Skinwalker. So let's go ahead and let's share both of their encounters here, and then again I'll give my own thoughts on it afterward. So the first one, again titled Northwest Tennessee. This is the longer one. This is what they state. Me and my pregnant wife were staying at my parents' house in Northwest Tennessee on September 19th, 2021. It is about 50 yards from our new house, and I went out on their back patio to smoke a cigarette around 12 a.m. Well, over the fence, I heard something that sounds like it was choking on something, but at the same time, sounded like a distorted pig squealing. It would make sounds in about 2 to 3 spurts, and I honestly thought it was a hawk or an owl, anything that could be explained. I thought it was definitely weird, but probably natural. And so about 3 hours later, I couldn't sleep and decided I would go to the gym. And as I'm walking to my car across the yard and towards the road, I hear this same weird sound coming from about 50 yards away at my 10 o'clock direction. I looked around and I couldn't see anything or hear anything. And then I hear, "Hey, hey," in a woman's voice coming from the same direction. And so I looked back up and there was nothing there. And as I'm scanning the yard, I hear the loud squealing noise again. I got to my car and dipped as fast as possible. I thought it was weird, but it didn't give me a second thought until a month later. I was on TikTok and saw a video of a man riding a horse in Arizona, I believe. And in the video, I heard a woman also say, "Hey, hey," and then this makes him and the horse both freak out and run away. It was believed to be a skinwalker. When I heard the same voice and those same exact words, almost like it was a recording, my heart sank to my stomach. I really don't believe in any of this, and I've tried every way I can to disprove it, and I truly can't. It doesn't scare me as much anymore as it intrigues me. I am so curious to know what that was and why me. And then that's it. That's everything that Zeitgeist Horror says with their encounter. So let's go ahead and let's quickly talk about that here. First off, Tennessee. I've featured that before in one of my other videos, so it looks like once again there are items or areas they're associated with skinwalkers. In this case, they were a little bit fortunate because they were just visiting their parents' house and they didn't necessarily have to live there. Poor parents, though. Imagine this was happening in that spot, and obviously they can leave afterwards, like when it comes to the main user and the wife, but the parents have to stick around afterward. And so this thing, whatever it was, it really gave me the heebie-jeebies when it came to that distorted pig squealing sound. I don't know if you ever played Silent Hill 2. It may have been possibly 3, but I think it was 2. There's this really scary moment when the main character goes down a flight of steps in some nondescript, almost basement-like area and cordoned off in an area that's locked by a fence. So obviously a gated fence too. Nobody could go in, nobody could go out. As they're passing by, all of a sudden there's like this distorted pig squealing sound. Like it almost sounds like a mix between a baby and a pig squeal. Like it was just horrendous. In fact, on YouTube there's clips of it too because it's pretty notorious for being a very frightful scare. So that's the impression that I got when it came to this guy, and he was just over there by that back patio area, and then all of a sudden he heard this. Obviously he would do it like I would do it, where natural instinct is to think it's got to be something real. Like it's got to be an animal of some sort as opposed to something like this. But the fact that he later found out there on TikTok a video of this other guy riding a horse in Arizona, and then there's that very same voice saying hey twice, trying to catch their attention, and the fact that he said it sounded exactly like a recording, like it's the same exact voice done over again, that was pretty scary stuff, because one is happening in Tennessee, one is happening there in Arizona. Both, though, are exactly the same situation. So how can that happen? How can anything natural possibly produce that type of effect from so far away when it comes to these different states? But yeah, that's at least that experience with regards to Zeitgeist horror. Pretty scary stuff. Obviously, he couldn't sleep afterward, and then he really got freaked out from it. But in any case, that's at least that his experience. Now, the next one comes again from the user Chaotic Lesbian 14, and they titled theirs Possible Skinwalker. This one is a short one, though. Here's what they state. One day at my neighborhood, there was a small dog that appeared where I lived, and at first, I thought that the dog was just lost. But then the dog would just walk up and down my street, and the dog would get close to my house, and me and my sister would just sit on our porch and watch it walk up and down the street. At first, I thought it was just normal, but then after watching it for a while, it kind of started to scare me. It made me nervous because I knew that skinwalkers could take on the form of anything. But after a while, the dog just left, and then in the night before I left, I heard a very strong animal scream coming from behind my house, but I didn't think much of it. But was this a possible skinwalker encounter? Then that's it. That's everything that they mentioned on there. Some of the users, in fact, posted their own comments with regards to that entry too. So yes, let's talk about that very brief encounter here. I don't think there was much there associated with Skinwalkers. Is maybe a first when it comes to these set of videos here, because truly, I think the impression, at least on my end, was that this was just a regular dog, a regular stray dog, like the kind that you and I see on an almost daily basis in anywhere type of town, America. So here you have something like this just casually walking down the street. The fact that it happened to be going back and forth in front of that person's house, it really didn't make much difference on my end, because dogs will be dogs, right? Like they just roam back and down the street. They roam to and from yards all the time, inside and outside houses. They just do what they do. And so I didn't get the impression on that end. Now, that being said, there was that very loud animal scream that came from the outside of the house, but without further details as to what it sounded like. Remember, like in the previous story, it was the sound of a squeal of a pig, something along those lines. Here, there is no indication, so hard to say what that is too. But I would love to hear what your comments are with regards to this entry, and let me know, do you think it was some kind of malevolent, weird skinwalker encounter, or was it just a dog, something that was just walking down the street? The fact that it might kind of made that user a little bit nervous, a little bit scared, that's the only other indication that it could be something else, but otherwise, that's at least that. But if anybody has any more info, anything else might have missed, what about those of you in the Tennessee area? Love to hear what your comments are with regards to parent encounters there with skinwalkers. All right, everybody. Thanks again as always. Take care. Bye.